think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists, but they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years.
I respect everything everyone is saying to me, and I don't want to fake apologize. I'm very upset about that people are misunderstood what I was saying.
It's not good for anyone, and it's not good for poor folks. It is not good for y'all because you become slave fodder. It's not a good thing. It's not good for women because you are now being told and dictated to, and you can't say anything because they, throw you in a jail or whatever.
And people got very, very, very angry and still are angry. I mean, I'm getting, all of the mail from folks and the very real anger because people feel very differently.
Whoopi Goldberg looked rattled. Her voice, usually calm and commanding, suddenly cracked with hesitation. Her smile forced. Her confidence gone. Something had gone terribly wrong on the set of The View, and it was written all over her face. Joy Behar wasn't much better. Her usual smug grin vanished, replaced with tight lips and shifty glances. For once, she wasn't laughing. She was squirming. The audience sensed it too. This wasn't a normal episode. This was damage control on live television. And the reason? One name, Karoline Leavitt. The woman they once mocked on national TV had flipped the script completely. She wasn't a guest anymore. She was now the one holding the remote to their fate. And that remote came in the form of an $800 million lawsuit. Yes, $800 million. That jaw-dropping number didn't just rattle the co-hosts. It sent shockwaves through ABC's corporate tower.
This morning, ABC News suspending Whoopi Goldberg for 2 weeks. ABC News President Kim Godwin saying in a statement, effective immediately, I am suspending Whoopi Goldberg for 2 weeks for her wrong and hurtful comments. While Whoopi has apologized, I've asked her to take time to reflect and learn about the impact of her comments.
Now, words matter, and mine are no exception. I regret my comments, as I said.
Democrats and the media are now unloading all their nasty attacks on rising Trump White House star and new press secretary, Karoline Leavitt.
This wasn't just another legal spat. It was a bombshell that left executives scrambling and producers whispering behind the scenes in sheer panic. Backstage, ABC was reportedly in full meltdown. Emergency meetings, crisis calls, lawyers pulled from vacation. The show that once prided itself on bold opinions had finally gone too far, and Karoline wasn't backing down an inch. And on stage, the fear was thick. The hosts, who once roared with laughter while belittling Karoline, were now tripping over their own apologies. The tone shifted from mockery to desperation. Fast. Whoopi leaned in toward the mic, her voice shaky. We just want to clear the air, she said, barely hiding the tension in her throat. No jokes, no laughs, just fear. Even the audience was stunned silent. Joy spoke next, and it was awkward. Maybe we were a little too harsh, she mumbled. Her usual fire, gone, her edge, dull. For once, the queen of quips had nothing left to throw. The lawsuit had flipped everything. No longer was Karoline a political punching bag. Now, she was a legal force with the power to bring a media giant to its knees. And she was just getting started. From the moment the legal papers landed on ABC's desk, the network went into crisis mode. Advertisers began to back away. PR teams locked down. Executives whispered one terrifying word: cancellation. Karoline didn't rush to the cameras. She didn't fire off a tweet storm. She didn't cry victim. No, she let the paperwork speak, and it spoke loud. Her lawsuit detailed every insult, every smear, every sly attack disguised as a joke. It painted a damning picture of a show that crossed the line one too many times. The evidence was brutal. Clips of Joy snickering while questioning Karoline's looks.
Sonny, you have a legal note.
I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi. Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism. That DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
We'll be right back.
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help.
Whoopi brushing off her accomplishments as woke opportunity. Sunny Hostin labeling her as nothing more than white privilege in lipstick. Each moment carved into the legal file like a dagger. And now, those very same women were reportedly making quiet phone calls to Karoline's team, begging for a conversation. Industry insiders say Joy wanted a personal chat. Whoopi supposedly reached out through mutual friends, hoping to de-escalate things. But the damage had already been done. Karoline, young but stone-cold focused, didn't budge. According to one source close to her legal team, she told them, "They didn't hesitate to humiliate me on national television. Why should I hesitate to hold them accountable?" And just like that, the balance of power shifted. Legal analysts everywhere jumped in. TV panels exploded with opinions. One expert even said, if this goes to court and Karoline wins, it could destroy the format of shows like The View altogether. Suddenly, this wasn't just about a lawsuit. It was about the future of televised talk shows. And the pressure? Crushing. ABC's legal team rushed to shield the network. But advertisers weren't interested in excuses. Sponsors wanted answers. They didn't want their brands tied to what the internet was now calling the smear table. Even social media turned on the hosts. TikToks dissecting the controversial segment racked up millions of views. YouTube commentators broke it down frame by frame. Memes exploded across every platform. Whoopi with a duct-taped mouth, Joy sitting in court sketch style, Sunny hiding behind a stack of legal books. Public sentiment shifted fast. People who normally ignored The View were now watching every move with popcorn in hand, and many were siding with Karoline, not for politics, but because they were sick of media arrogance. One viral tweet summed it up perfectly.
Raised a few eyebrows using the Bible to support the idea of kids getting gender change surgeries. Take a look.
This is a party that says we believe in parents' rights. You're telling me that as a parent, I'm not smart enough to decide if my child and I need to have gender affirming. Our doctors are not involved. What is going? So I can't decide what my kid reads. I can't decide. For my child, what my child says is going on. You're telling me your beliefs, and they keep saying it, and I keep saying, what Bible are you reading? Because God was really clear.
Very clear.
I would say this is a new low for The View, but it isn't. They've gone way lower before. It's certainly on brand for The View.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though. It's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
Whatever you're saying, this is the first time that she's been she may be. But my point is that job would not maybe have been open to her.
No, I understand. I just wanted to clarify.
Karoline Leavitt is doing what every mistreated guest on that show wishes they had the guts to do: make them pay. And pay might be literal. Some insiders suggest Sunny Hostin could be held personally liable for her comments. Her segment was especially brutal. And Karoline's lawyers made it clear, no one is protected from consequences just because they sit behind a desk. Reports even claim ABC's board is divided. Half want to push forward and fight tooth and nail in court. The other half? They're allegedly begging for a settlement to make this go away before it ruins the entire network's reputation. Tensions are boiling over. Meanwhile, Karoline stays calm. She hasn't made a dramatic public statement. She hasn't gloated. She's just moved carefully, precisely, like someone who's spent months watching, documenting, and preparing for this exact moment. And now she's executing her plan with chilling precision. And here's where it gets absolutely wild. The hosts, once untouchable, are going silent. No Instagram jokes, no smug panel comments, just sterile press releases and vague half-apologies. Fans noticed the shift immediately. "Why are they suddenly so quiet?" one viewer asked. The answer was simple. They were terrified. An anonymous producer allegedly told an outlet, "We've never seen them this rattled. They're scared. This will cost them everything." And who could blame them? If Karoline wins, it's not just reputations on the line. It's careers, credibility, and potentially the entire show. It's like the dam broke, and Karoline lit the match that started the flood. With every new revelation, The View looks less like a talk show and more like a collapsing empire, cracking under its own arrogance. Whispers are swirling that the network is considering a massive shakeup to save face, firing a host, changing the format, or even cancelling the show altogether. That's how deep this crisis has cut. Some board members are reportedly demanding accountability.
President Trump, they have mocked him, they have shamed him, they have lied about him consistently on their show. And it was a joy to watch them on November the 6th when they realized that tens of millions of Americans do not listen to the lies that they have spewed. These women are completely out of touch with reality. And you're right, ABC should wake up. They just paid $15 million to President Trump's future library. That's a great thing for the American people.
One insider claimed they're reviewing every episode from the last 2 years, every insult, every jab, every smug comment, being pulled apart by lawyers frame by frame. ABC's legal team is now in full-blown triage mode, trying to figure out if they're dealing with just one explosive lawsuit or the beginning of a chain reaction. And Karoline, she hasn't blinked. Every day that passes, she gains more support. Her fans are rallying behind her like never before. Posts celebrating her bravery are flooding social media. Finally, someone is standing up to the media bullies, one supporter wrote, racking up thousands of likes. Meanwhile, the hosts are shrinking in public. Once proud voices on social issues, they've gone disturbingly quiet. No fiery clips, no political zingers, just nervous glances and soft, watered-down commentary. Joy, once a force of chaos, now looks like she's walking on glass. Whoopi's silence has sparked wild speculation. Some say she's been advised not to speak publicly at all. Others claim she's trying to negotiate behind closed doors. Either way, the once dominant voice of daytime television is now echoing with uncertainty, and Sunny Hostin, she's in deep. Legal experts say her words might have crossed into personally liable territory. Her bold, dismissive takedown of Karoline could be the costliest misstep of all. Some lawyers estimate her potential exposure could hit millions, even beyond what insurance could cover. It's gotten so serious that insiders are whispering about personal financial protection. She's looking into legal shields for personal assets, one source revealed. That's how dire her situation might be. The fallout isn't just reputational, it's financial devastation looming over her head. What makes this entire mess even more embarrassing for The View is how preventable it all was. If they just stuck to the issues, if they hadn't made it personal, if they hadn't tried to humiliate a guest on live TV, maybe none of this would have happened. But they did. And now they're paying for it.
So thrilled to have you with me. And you would think, ABC, having just paid $15 million for a defamation lawsuit,
would think not to engage in conspiracy theories about assassination attempts, but I guess that's too much to ask from The View. I mean, I gotta ask you, because they said it, are you aware of any plots from Elon Musk to push President Trump down the stairs?
What still excites you about coming to work here?
Getting paid. I do enjoy a paycheck. I'm not going to lie. But, listen, this is a place where you can come and say what you think, and as long as that is what the job is, I'm happy to be here. I just leave. I go home. I go home to my life, and I take care of my cat and do all the stuff I'm supposed to.
Karoline's legal strategy is as ruthless as it is brilliant. She's not only demanding money, she's demanding accountability. She wants public apologies, on-air retractions, and full corrections to be broadcast during prime segments. That's right. She's pushing for them to grovel publicly. Joy Behar, known for her flippant attitude, was now allegedly begging for a private meeting. Insiders claimed she told a producer, "We didn't think she'd take it this far. I didn't think it would come back to us like this, but it had, and with a vengeance." Whoopi, once the powerhouse of the panel, has become a ghost. No interviews, no appearances, just silence and whispers of regret behind closed doors. Even her staunchest supporters are starting to distance themselves, worried they'll be dragged into the fallout too. Sunny Hostin's situation has reportedly turned into a full-scale legal emergency. Her legal counsel is rumored to be pushing for an immediate private settlement to shield her from personal liability. But Karoline's team isn't interested in backdoor deals. They want justice in the open. The internet hasn't let up for a second. Millions have watched the viral clips. Social media is saturated with calls for accountability. Commenters flood every post from The View with demands like, "Apologize to Karoline," and "Shut it down already." Even mainstream outlets have been forced to cover the storm. And while some still try to downplay Karoline's lawsuit, others admit this might be a media reckoning. One popular headline read, "The View thought she'd break. Now they're the ones on their knees." That headline wasn't wrong, because now the unimaginable is being discussed behind boardroom doors, the full cancellation of The View. Sources say the word final season has come up more than once. The cost of continuing might simply outweigh the damage already done. And what about Karoline? She's made no grand victory lap, no spiteful interviews. Instead, she simply issued one quiet statement that said everything.
She'll be great. She's young, but she's wise beyond her years, and she has access to the president, which is something someone didn't have, and that would be the person in the last 4 years until towards the end when they would let her have access. And also, Karine Jean-Pierre would say that Joe Biden was running circles behind the scenes at the White House. It absolutely wasn't true. And if you want to trace directly how all of the Democrats lost, you can go right back to the biggest lie was that one, and they perpetuated it from there. Reminds me of when Mark Cuban said that the president doesn't surround himself by anybody smart. And Joy Behar and those guys, of course this was going to happen. This is why conservative women just have to move on, do their thing, and not worry about the criticism from folks like that.
So, how you feel?
I'll start.
Yeah, go ahead.
My takeaway is that the system works. We live in a democracy. People spoke. This is what people wanted. I vehemently disagree with the decision that Americans made, but I feel very, very hopeful that we have a democratic system in this country. We should value it. We should love it. We should protest if the situation.
When powerful people lie about you, mock you, and try to silence you, fight back. The truth still matters. That single quote went viral instantly. It was retweeted by pundits, influencers, even political leaders. It wasn't just about her anymore. It was about the thousands who felt humiliated on live TV and had no voice. Karoline gave them one. The ripple effects are now being felt across television. Other shows are reportedly reviewing their guest policies. Producers are quietly telling their hosts to pull it back, stay away from personal attacks, and treat guests with basic respect. What a difference a lawsuit makes. Insiders say several celebrities who were previously mocked or mistreated on The View have reached out to Karoline's team to share their stories. Some are even considering legal action of their own. It's not just a lawsuit, it's a movement. And now, the legacy of The View, once the queen of daytime debate, is hanging by a thread. For years they played judge and jury, slinging sarcasm and ridicule from their cushioned seats. But now, they're the ones being judged, and the verdict is coming fast. Whether the show survives or crumbles completely, one thing is clear. Karoline Leavitt changed the game forever. She walked into their house, got mocked on their stage, and came back with a legal sword that left the entire set shaking. And as the dust settles, audiences everywhere are asking one question: how many other voices were silenced or smeared while cameras rolled and applause signs flashed? Because now, those voices are starting to speak, and the media world is listening. So what happens next? Will ABC sacrifice a host to save the brand? Will The View limp forward under a new format or fall apart completely? Will Karoline's case go all the way to trial, or will it be settled in shame? Time will tell, but one thing's certain. The age of unaccountable media arrogance just took a massive hit, and Karoline Leavitt struck the blow that made history.